Hey everybody, this is Ozark Prepper 1. I'm just sitting around the house tonight, me and the animals, and it's been hot. I'll be working tomorrow, and then I'm going to take the weekend and probably the whole next week or two off. But I've been watching a lot of things over these past few weeks that I haven't been on here, and it was just today I saw one of these Black Lives Matter people go right up to the reporter and say, "We are pushing for Marxist, communist ideas." And I'm here to tell you that I'm not going to have anybody push communist, Marxist ideas to me. You know, my relatives and most people's relatives in the United States fought and died in Korea, and they fought in Vietnam to hold back that ideology. Because as bad as people may think it is here, it's nowhere near as bad as living in a communist style of a dictatorship, because when everybody has to live a certain way and everybody has to be the same, then you kill dreams and you kill ideas and you kill entrepreneurs, and you kill people's drive to want to do anything. In America, we do have a system where everybody tries to compete with each other, and it gets out of hand. But at the same time, it's what makes things happen. It's what innovates. What makes people create. It's in every area of society in the United States. People even poor people try to outdo other poor people. But our poor people in the United States, they live a higher standard of life than a poor person anywhere else in the world. Like they're living. A poor person that doesn't work in the United States is living a higher standard of life than a poor person that works in another place. This this whole Black Lives Matter thing, Antifa and all that crap has gotten out of control. And I don't hate the people in it. I don't hate them. I forgive them because I think a lot of them don't even know what they're doing. I think they're young and full of energy, and they want to tear stuff up. And I understand that. When I was young, I wanted to tear stuff up too. But they should think about this. There's people sitting in their homes watching this stuff happen, and we're thinking, I'm not everybody. Everybody thinks individually different. But most people are going to walk out and they're going to vote the way they're going to vote anyway. You can tear up cities all you want. You can try to rip down monuments. You can try to erase history. Whatever. We're still going to vote the same way we're going to vote. And, you may think that you can parade a bunch of dudes wearing berets and stuff down the street and try to stick up and say, "Oh, where's everybody at? We're here," like you're tough or something. If they were there, you wouldn't be there because you're outnumbered big time. Big time. Nobody wants that kind of carnage. Nobody wants to mow down a bunch of sitting ducks, which is what you guys are. You're pushing for communism and Marxism. Well, what comes with that is disarmament. You want to disarm yourselves? What are you going to do then? Because the average American who knows the Constitution and knows the Bill of Rights and the Second Amendment, the First Amendment, all the stuff the first two, they're the only ones that Not the only ones that matter, but they're the main ones that matter. Without those two, the rest are nothing. And without the second, they're all nothing. They have no power. When they know that they can only back you into a corner and they're going to get popped, then that keeps them at bay. That's the only reason that tyranny hasn't steamrolled over the American people years ago. They've always done it in little baby bites, and they'll take a bite, and then we'll put our people in there, and they'll take that bite back. And that's been the setup of government for the past 150 years in this country. Because they were pretty much in lockstep at the beginning, because they had a common enemy, and back then that common enemy was Great Britain. The King George, that was their common enemy. And so in the United States, you didn't have near the bickering, and you didn't have that big divide of extreme liberal and extreme conservative. But after around the time of the Civil War is when that came into play, and it's been there ever since. And the way I see it is this: if you don't like it here, get your ass on a boat and just take a ride back to the motherland where you came from. Because this country's established, things are set up, and there's no reason to take a good thing and make it bad. If we're going to do anything, let's take a good thing and let's make it better. We got the first president in there that I've seen in my lifetime that says, I'm going to do this, and he starts doing it. And the only reason things don't get done if he says he's going to do it is because he's got people blocking him from doing it. He's got these weird people. Man, these people are weird. Who are these politicians? Go to these freak parties and all this other stuff. All these things like the Pizzagate stuff and all that. And then they have the nerve to put shills out there and say, well, this stuff isn't real. This is fake, made up by tinfoil hat wearing crazies. It's not fake. It's real. It's been going on forever. For the past 50, 100 years in this country. It's been going on since the days of Babylon. But it's now reached a point to where it's so epic. There's such a large amount of children that disappear in the United States. They disappear in all these little third world shitholes. And why do you think they want to keep that border wide open? Why do you think they want to keep all this trade with all these foreign countries overseas and stuff? Because what do you think they're trading? They slip stuff in through the back doors, these people that are drinking blood and all this other stuff. And that's going on. But Americans got their head in the sand like ostriches. And they don't want to believe that. And they don't even care about that. All they care about is, I want to be able to buy this and buy that. And if I can't, my country must be screwing me over. And this country screwed itself over, the people did, a long time ago. I remember the 70s. Late 70s, cars popped up, these little bitty tiny cars, people started buying them to save gas. So they're like, well, I'm going to buy these foreign cars, they're cheaper. So everybody started buying these Japanese-made cars, which are very well made. I can say that. Japanese make the best stuff. Some of the best stuff. They take a lot of pride in their work. Well, people started buying those cars. Well, I don't know when Japan started building plants in the United States. They did, eventually. But there was a whole period of time there, through the 80s, where people were buying these foreign cars left and right. And the big three, they were still making some pretty decent trucks and cars back then. But around the late 90s, early 2000s, they started getting crappy. They started not lasting as long, and when something would break, it would be catastrophic and the whole vehicle's destroyed, just too expensive to fix. And the Japanese, they kept making very good cars through that time. So it was a combination of our own fault. Our big three companies did not cater to the individual who wanted a simple vehicle that was easy on gas. And they also didn't, the American people didn't cater to themselves by shopping around looking for American-made products. And they did it long enough that the ones who still made things in America had to move or had to shut down. If we would have kept buying our own things, we would have stayed afloat, because we were also exporting things. So we'd been our biggest consumer, and we would also have been a large exporter at the same time. And now that we've awakened China in the past 20 or 30 years, we brought them people out of the mud huts. Well, they got a taste of what we have. They're not going to ever want to lose that now. So you got another large consumer on the planet, just going to eat up more materials too, just like we did. We overconsumed a lot. I've seen individuals buy a brand new vehicle like every 5 years or so, and the vehicle they buy will be way beyond their means to begin with, but they just keep upgrading even after that. And I don't understand that these people think that this stuff, these material possessions, these homes and cars and stuff, they think that defines who they are as a human being. And that's a sad way to live, really. It's a sad thing to think about. Because these people may have large homes and nice cars, and then when the lights go out, they go to open the fridge and there's nothing in there. They go out to the garage to see if they got some spare gas for something, and there's none out there. They have no way to heat their home. They have no way to cool their home. And this, it's a type of vanity that people are living in this country, and it surprises me that even as far along in the game as we are now, those people are still asleep. They still have their head in the sand. They're still looking down, looking out and thinking, "Oh, I wonder what people think of me." It's like, and I'm thinking to myself, nobody even thinks of those people. But they have it in their head that people are looking at them and thinking about, are impressed with their possessions. And that's a sad way to live. That's being stuck in your own brain. But I don't even know what I was talking about to start this conversation. I just haven't made a video in a while, and I figured I would make one. And all I can say is our good friends in the Black Lives Matter movement might want to tone it down a bit, because in my opinion they need to be labeled as a terrorist organization. They're no good. I mean, anybody that wants to burn cities and then demand stuff from everybody else, that's a parasite. That's not something we need. I don't care how mad they are at all. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. If you're mad, get off your feet and go work and do something. Don't just lay around and blame everything on us. Anyway, this is Ozark Prepper 1. Y'all have a good week. Over and out.